Hi, I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of this newsletter is going to be why women don't like indecisive men. Well, I've actually got an email here today from a woman who's written in, who's been following my work. A friend of hers a guy friend of hers actually introduced her to my work, and she's actually been applying what I teach from a woman's perspective on the guys that she is dating. And so to give you an interesting perspective from a woman and how, at the end of the day, when you understand the psychology, the dating, pickup, and relationship and seduction dynamic between men and women and what we each respond to in relationships, like once you understand that psychology, it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, you can apply these techniques on the opposite sex and get the results that you want in your own life. And she says, "Hello, Mr. Wayne. A friend of mine, Dr. I'm not going to say his name, turned me onto your website and YouTube videos. He and I get together on the weekends and catch up on your latest posts. We love it. I've been applying some of your concepts, and I'm curious about how these concepts will translate from a woman to a man versus a man to a woman. 2 months ago, a guy from my CrossFit gym approached me saying that he has had a crush on me for months. He asked me out, and I agreed. We hit it off instantly. We got together once or twice a week and always have a really great time. Twice in these 2 months, he has called it off, saying that his feelings for me are too intense and he is scared of this." Hearing that from a guy, that tells me he's a fucking weak bitch. He's young. Obviously, he's younger than you are, which we'll get to that in a minute, but that is a major red flag. When a guy says, it's weak. And I think it's awesome that you're applying this stuff on the guys that you're dating and it's helping you. But the same token, that should be a red flag for you to say, you know what? Because when a guy's weak like that, when he's unsure, he's basically communicating, I don't think I'm good enough for you, and I might as well break up with you now because more than likely you're just going to reject me down the road when you really get to know me and you learn about all the skeletons that are in my closet. And some of the things I talk about that I teach guys to do, like using bantering and teasing women or being playful, what you got to understand about is based upon, like if you're talking to a woman, based upon her level of self-esteem, like you can tease a girl about something, but if her confidence is in the toilet, she's going to take it personally and get really insecure and butthurt about it. And sometimes you'll be talking to a girl who's very attractive and you like, and who you've got a chance with and who likes you and feels the same, but when you mess with her or you tease her, or just because of the confidence that you have, her own securities deep down, she's going to think, once he gets to know me, he's not going to like me. He'll just reject me. And they'll reject you on the spot just because they figure, hey, might as well reject you now because once you get to know the real them, you're not going to want them anyways. And that's just the way it is. Because some people just got a low self-esteem and they haven't done the work on this area of their lives yet. But like I said, it's a red flag and you should pay attention to that. He is a sensitive guy, but I really have a hard time. Let me see here. He's a sensitive guy, but I really have a hard time believing this. She says, I have never brought up the topic of love or relationships, and when he brings it up, I shy away or I change the subject. I would say as far as a sensitive guy, he's probably the typical feminized pussy that the media and movies and TV has basically done tremendous damage over the decades to our society. You can watch movies that come out today versus movies that came out 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago. And you just see gradually over the decades, especially like 50 years ago, men were presented in a very confident alpha male type of role. Women were very feminine, dainty, submissive, threw their feelings at the guy, pursued the guys that they wanted, just like women normally do in daily life. But when the feminist movement got a hold of everything, they said, no, you can't have women pursuing men. We should have the men need to be the pursuer. And so a group of people got together and they decided, well, men should pursue women, even though that's just not naturally what happens in the real world in interactions of men and women. But when you have hundreds and hundreds of thousands of hours of movies and TV programs over the decades that just fucking pound into our heads this feminized pussy narrative that men are supposed to be in touch with their feelings and be all weak and feminized and be politically correct and don't want to offend anybody or hurt their feelings. I think that's a bunch of fucking weak bullshit, and it's doing tremendous damage to our society, which I am happy to help undo, because it's making people absolutely fucking miserable, and it's destroying our families, and it's destroying the dynamic between men and women. Men and women like each other, want to interact with one another, but most people in our society don't know how to interact with one another in a healthy way anymore, because all these fucking busybodies, these pathetic, weak suck-ups, these weak motherfuckers that we have in government, these career politicians that are they just bend over for whatever special interest that gives them the most amount of money. And if I don't want to get started on it, but it's a fucking mess. She says, I need to know I can trust a man before I commit to him. Absolutely. And you should. You want to know that you can trust his masculine core. In other words, that you're not going to get yourself down the road where you let yourself fall in love with this guy, and then he just goes, oh, I'm too scared. I'm out of here, man. Because you don't want to get hurt. And so you're a smart girl. I'm not sure why he keeps bringing it up and then running away from his own conversation. Why? Because he's a feminized pussy, that's why. And you should be running away from him, in my opinion. I told him that relationships should be organic and they will evolve naturally. Awesome. If we enjoy each other, that's all that matters. It's that simple. Perfect. Couldn't agree more. After the second time he called it off, I deleted his contact information. 7 days later, he begins contacting me again. 4 days of talking again, and he calls me drunk, telling me that he ran away from me because he thinks I'm perfect for him and that he may already be in love with me. He said he is scared to have those feelings for someone since he just ended a 2-year relationship. I mean, this is the type of stuff that I write about in my books, and it's just nice to see from another woman writing about just the shit that guys do that makes them look so weak and pathetic. It might be important to note that I'm 32 and he's 26. I told him to just relax and enjoy his time with me. 2 days later, he sends me a text saying that he can't keep doing this and he thinks we should just be friends. The dreaded friend zone. No thank you. I responded by saying, I've really enjoyed our time together. You make me laugh and I feel beautiful when I'm with you. That's a hell of a compliment to this guy. I'm super attracted to you in several ways, and I'm not interested in being only your friend. When you're ready to explore more, give me a call. I'd love to see you again. She says, my version of call me if you change your mind. And I would say I learned that from one of my dearest high school buddies, and he's been married to his wife for, 16, 17 years. They've been together like almost 18 years now. They got 3 kids together, and she fucking worships him. I'm not sure I really have any questions about this particular guy. The ball's in his court at this point. I'm just trying to keep living my life. It's his loft because I'm a total catch. And I say absolutely. Quite frankly, I would delete his contact number and just politely decline his offer. Unless the sex is great and you just want to hang out and hook up and have great sex with him. And in that case, if you want to just keep him around for a friends with benefits kind of thing, then just invite him over to make dinner and have dinner together, seduce each other, and then send him on his way. When he talks about relationships and this and that, just say, I'm not interested in that. You're younger and you don't know what you're looking for yet. I just want to focus on having a good time and fall in love. And I want you to date whoever you want to date. I'm going to date who I want to date. If you find a girl that doesn't make you feel all insecure like you do when you're around me, that's great. I want you to be happy. But I want you to know that when I find the right guy for me, I'm gonna fall head over heels in love with him. I'm gonna live happily ever after. But in the meantime, let's just have fun together and see where it goes. That's what I would say with him if you want to continue hooking up. But I would say this guy's young, he's immature, and he's not good relationship material. He's very insecure, very needy, and quite frankly, you can deserve better. I mean, you're reading all this stuff now, so I mean, it must have completely. It's like lifting the shingles from your eyes to be able to learn this stuff, and because people literally become predictable. And I'd say more than likely he'll probably call you again in the future when he hasn't heard from you, because most women wouldn't walk away. But I mean, quite frankly, if you've been reading my stuff for a while, you know all the time that these are the kind of things that guys say that totally get them rejected. And the only reason that you haven't rejected him is because obviously you had a real high level of interest in him to start with. But if your interest was in the 50s and he pulled this crap, you would have kicked him to the curb and never thought twice about it. But it's just because your interest level in him is really high that you're cutting him a lot of slack, that a guy that you had less interest in, you would have never cut him the amount of slack that you cut this dude. So thanks for your email. And if you have a question or a topic that you want me to cover in a future video newsletter, go to my website and click the Contact Me tab, which is going to be on the left-hand side of your screen. Send me 1 to 2 paragraphs maximum detailing your questions, your situation, your challenges. And you just got to give me several days to get back to you with a response, because I get a lot of email from the internet. And I also get a lot of it from my paying phone coaching customers. And I obviously got to focus on their emails first. But be patient and I will get back to you. And if you want to talk to me right away, the quickest way to get my help is to book a paid phone coaching session. And you can do that by clicking the Products tab, which is going to be at the top of your screen, and just follow the instructions. And if you want to get a digital version of my Amazon Kindle ebook, go to my website. Underneath the email sign-up box, there's a box that has a link that will take you to the Amazon Kindle download page for my book. Make sure you don't need to have a Kindle to read my book. All you need, you can have, because what's great is Amazon has a free Kindle e-reader app for Android devices, iPhones, iPads, PC, Mac. So download whatever e-reader app you need. It's free. And then that'll basically turn your electronic device into a Kindle e-reader. And then it only takes 60 seconds to download my book to your device, and you can be reading in no time. And I will talk to you soon.